Welcome to Subscription Prescription, the podcast where you get the information you need to scale your subscription program. Hello and welcome to another dose of Subscription Prescription. I am your host, Matthew Holman. This is the podcast where we help you figure out everything related to D2C subscriptions. And this is a special dose for 2025, as in how you can find some new growth and breakthrough with your subscription program in 2025. So as we get to the end of the year and the beginning of the new year, I always like to take stock in my own life, my own business. I'm assuming that you are doing the same. So when we're thinking through some ways that we can find some new subscriber growth, better retention, moving into 2025, want to kind of like walk through a little bit of an exercise with you so you can find some quick wins and some places where I would focus on if I were you looking at your subscription program. So step one of this process is always just to kind of take stock, look at how things are going. And in general, what I see across the board is that brands are typically either really good at acquisition, but they kind of bleed subscribers on the back end. Maybe they're kind of slowly growing on the acquisition side, but they're pretty strong on the retention side, or they're really good at both, or they're really bad at both. So depending on which bucket you fall into those things, again, this is an estimate or a look at your own business. I would call it a gut check at first. You can also always look at analytics, look at how you compare to maybe some other brands or industry related data. But realistically, this is kind of like thinking through a gut check. How good of a job are we doing at acquiring subscribers versus how good of a job are we doing at retaining subscribers? And depending on where you fall in there, I want you to kind of make a goal looking into Q1 for 2025 on making it a priority, kind of shore up that part of the program. We'll dive into some tactics that you can use on that next. Now, as we kind of like look through, there's a few fundamental things that are you should be looking at for your program, regardless of where you're at. So instead of necessarily looking for that home run or that moonshot or that one little thing that's going to unlock and change everything for you, which we will talk a little bit about in a bit, it's actually a good second step is to review your fundamentals. Now, recently we had an interview with Al Solomon, a retention specialist, and one of the things she pointed out as it relates to like email communications is that there are a lot of fundamental stuff that brands either set and forget, or they just don't pick up again, or they just aren't doing very well. So when we're talking about subscription fundamentals, what I want you to pay attention to are a couple things. The first is processing. All right. This is a really easy place for you to find some quick wins. Okay. There are a few third-party software apps, software partners that are available in the space now between Butter Payments, Flycode, and now another new one called Redux Payments. And you could have been, maybe you've been using Churnbuster in the past, or looking at, if you're on Recharge, using their Retain package. Other subscription apps are also rolling out some of their own processing and dunning features. Look at how you can maybe use a third-party tool. A lot of them will run free tests, let you do a free trial to see if it has an improvement or not, as well as just looking within your own platform settings. It's a great time to maybe ask for a little feedback from your subscription app partner to look at how your dunning is set up. But look at how your initial processing and your dunning is working, because with maybe, an hour or two of work, you could make a 2, 3, 5, sometimes even a 10% improvement on processing, without doing anything other than just changing a little bit about how you're processing payments. That's it. Okay. So that's the first place I want you to look at from a fundamental standpoint, is processing and dunning. The second place is just reviewing some of the basic customer experience aspects of your program, right? When people purchase a subscription from you, are they getting an onboarding or welcome email series that educates them about the subscription, about the product, answers FAQs, and creates some excitement for them? It's a really basic place to start. If you're looking for a template, I've got a ton of resources you can get on Social Post, past doses. But realistically, this is something you can go and talk to about, like with your email provider or partner, or something to do internally. Again, just making sure you're addressing just common questions or issues. Every subscription has them, whether it's coffee, whether it's beauty. People are going to wonder about the best way to use it, or there's going to be a lot of really common ways people make mistakes with it. Make sure you're addressing those. And again, leverage UGC or some other method to create a little bit of excitement for them. So that's a fundamental piece there. And then also when we're looking at our upcoming order notification emails, if you are sending those, make those more on brand, make them feel less transactional, just make them a little bit more fun. You could even include an upsell or another special offer that fires in that email as well. And then reviewing your cancellation portal, just looking to make sure that you have a flow set up, that you're making some offers, that you're collecting information, so that when people essentially are looking at all these different touch points, we want to make sure that we're just doing those well. Again, you don't need to reinvent the wheel or anything. Just make sure you have something happening. If you see a gap or a problem, then you could add that to your kind of to-do list of things to kind of take care of. But onboarding email series, good upcoming notification email, and then a cancellation flow with good reasons and some offers. So make sure those as fundamentals are set up and running. And if not, go get those shored up. Those are going to help you the overall health of your program. Okay. The next thing, and kind of this final piece, is picking an objective. You can try to do both, or otherwise I want you to just think about doing one of these two different things, okay? So one of the best ways you can positively influence your subscription program is with different offers. So if you're not using landing pages yet, or if you are using landing pages already, you're going to use a landing page for this. I want you to set a goal in Q1 to test a new subscription offer, right? Put some paid traffic behind it, or update some of your blog or SEOs or affiliates so that they're directing at this page. But essentially, I want you to try testing something that you haven't done before. And I don't mean necessarily just a steeper discount. You can keep that discount on there if you want, but try a bundle, try creating a little bit of a starter kit that includes a few more items with your subscription, or you could test prepaid subscriptions. I want you to test one different type of offer to see how the conversions go. See if this is something you can get right. Again, tons of past content and examples of different ways to do this. If you just go to newsletter.thesubscriptiondoc.com, you'll actually be able to see all our past newsletters, including, and in each one is a link to the podcast. You'll be able to get more information there. So testing one different offer in Q1 to see what happens, to see if you can get close to getting some decent conversions without too high of a customer acquisition cost. And if it does start to work even just a little bit, you can start iterating through and making some more tests to try to drive that through. On the flip side, I want you to look at, on the retention side of things, it's really easy to think about surprise and delight or some other technique for trying to improve retention. But I want you to kind of maybe take a step back from that and just think there's actually a big missed opportunity for a lot of brands in just trying to drive up the lifetime value of your typical subscriber through selling some more stuff to them. So I don't advise doing this on month 1. Some brands have seen some success doing it on month 2. Sometimes it's month 3. So this is something to think through depending on how strong your retention is. If your retention is a little weak, I would wait a little longer. If you feel okay about your retention at month 2, you could start doing this in month 2. But this is start looking at some upsell offers to improve or increase the value of your average subscriber. Again, there's a few other methods to doing this. I've been implementing a tool called Zamo across a few different clients over the last few months, and we've been doing this with one-time upsells and prepaid subscription upsells. So a little bit of a plug for them there. But you can do this with your Klaviyo Quick Actions. You could do this with Postpilot by sending somebody a QR code. There's a lot of different ways to kind of like lens this. You could even do this as an insert inside the subscription. So I want you to be a little creative here and just think, okay, you're already selling a subscription box and you have one-time items. We should be looking at ways to upsell those one-time items into the subscription box. If you're selling a variety of different products, but you have a hero product, what other products can we use as upsells to that hero product to get people to buy more of that? Again, it's a big missed opportunity. A lot of brands are just kind of like holding on to subscribers and trying to like just keep them as long as possible. And while that still is a good attitude in the sense of like trying to figure out what you can do to make retention better, we can also increase the average order value of those subscribers, improving our lifetime value by getting them to buy a little bit more from us. So that's one of 2 tests I want you to pick to run and prioritize in Q1 of 2025. So just as a quick recap, take an assessment, talk to your team, look at your data, give yourself a gut check. What part of the program is kind of missing that needs some focus on this year? Look at the fundamentals with processing and some of your communications and customer touch points. Make sure that those fundamentals are in place and are happening. And then prioritize a test, either on the acquisition side with a landing page and a new offer, or on the retention side, offering an upsell of some kind, getting somebody to purchase more from you. That is going to be step 1 or steps 1, 2, and 3 that you could implement in Q1 of 2025 to unlock a new level of subscription growth for your brand. And as you can get in that, it's also about getting in some good reps so you can continue to iterate and test some of these things going into Q2, 3, and getting you ready for Q4 in 2025. Would love for 2025 to be your best year yet for subscriptions. Okay, that's it for this week's dose. If you have any questions about anything that I've covered today, feel free to hit me up. Make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter.thesubscriptiondoc.com. You can hit me up on Twitter or LinkedIn, Matthew Holman, The Subscription Doc. Would love to be a help resource to you as you're planning out how to grow your subscriptions this year. And stay tuned for next week's dose, the Subscription Prescription. That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe so that you can get notified when new episodes come out each week on Tuesdays.